Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a Christmas card to share with you featuring the Merrymakers from Hello Bluebird. It's a really simple Christmas card, and in case you don't have anything similar like the basic circles where you have this window kind of die, there are so many ways to recreate this card even more easy or more simple than what I created here. You can make it also more complex if you want to, but you know me, clean and simple, that's what I like. So I started by stamping out my image from the Merrymakers. I am using dark chocolate Gina Designs ink, which will give me this warmer and also a bit softer look than black. But it's all up to you what you prefer. And I started coloring with my Copics. There isn't a lot to color. I'm only featuring this one image, and then I will do some ink blending to draw the attention to, but only a few markers I'm using here. You can always find them back on my blog post. There is a link towards my blog in the description box as well. So for the reds, I'm using R59, R46 and R14. I think this is a really warm red, and at the same time the darkest color is really intense, so there is a huge difference between the lightest marker and the darkest of this combination, but it works great together, and it gives this really warm red finished result. So I started with all the reds, and then I will just do the bear, and it's just the simplest coloring ever. I'm trying to have my shadows on the left side. I'm working from darkest to lightest. I'm adding 2 layers at least. That's what works best for me. This paper is Transotype perfect coloring paper. Depending on the paper that you're using, the blending will go easier maybe, or a bit less easy, or you can add tons of layers or not, just depending on your paper. I think you're great using your own paper, so you will already know the qualities of it and how you can work on it. So here as well for the bear, shadows on the left, and I'm just building up my marker combinations. Also, if my first layer is rubbish, I actually don't mind, because I know that my second layer will change that completely. So for the bear, I'm using E37, E33, E53 and E51, and then for the innards of the ears I will use E13 and E11. So in total there are only 9 markers. I know it's only one image, but if you want to include more images, you can. So that's a way to elevate this card. If you don't like clean and simple, then you can definitely add 2 images, 3 around, like the window if you want to. Now, in case you don't have anything window kind of, you can also use a stencil and just create a window on your panel. So you can easily take a circular stencil or a rectangular and just use the same distressings if you want to have like a night sky feel, and people will immediately think about the window. If you put your image in front, just in the white area, that will be perfectly fine as well. So definitely try to see how you can put this card into something that works for you, that is totally you, and just enjoy the process. So here the innards of the ears, I'm going to use a matching die to cut this image out. Also in the Merrymakers from Hello Bluebird, there are tons of images, really adorable. You can use each one of them with this card. Sometimes, well, I love having the back of the critter on the side of the card, on the same side of the card. So in this case, the back of the bear is on the left side, and I will put this bear on the left side of my window so that it's more looking towards the window than away from it. So that's the only thing that I would change. If you take another critter from this set and it's facing towards the left, I would put it on the right side of your panel. So here I'm taking the basic circles from Momma Elephant. It's one of those dies that I have had from the start. Also, like the basic rectangles, you have this lovely stitching detail all around. And I really love how this frame actually gives you a window. It seems intricate, but it's actually really simple. And to avoid going through my die cutting machine tons of times, I'm just immediately adhering this circle window as well, so that I have this at one go. So here we have it, my panel. So there is a really small circle in the center. If you don't have the window, take a circular die. It's perfectly fine as well. Take a circle stencil, make it a rectangle if you want to. Anything is possible. I decided to first stamp out my sentiment. I'm using the grit on this piece of paper in my MISTI to see whether it's straight, and then I'm going to add it on the panel. So this Merry Christmas is from the Deck the Halls stamp set from Hello Bluebird. I love this typewriter kind of style. I have said it a ton of times already, but I really love it. So sometimes I just need a simple sentiment, not too much, and then I check other stamp sets as well. Now I'm going to ink blend a night sky. I'm using some distress inks. I'm using black Soot, chipped Sapphire and Peacock feathers so that we also have this really bright blue on the bottom of the night sky. Something that you can also do, and I contemplated about it, but I eventually left this as clean and simple as possible. But you can easily create a shaker out of this card. Since we have this frame, even if you just have a circular die that you used, put some acetate behind. If you have some lovely snow kind of embellishments, you can make it a shaker and it's just perfect. But I decided to keep it clean and simple. But really do, if you love shakers, this is a really simple shaker, really easy to do as well. I just use my white gouache to represent the snow, and then I'm going to add this frame, well, on top of my ink blended panel. I'm using a bit of dimension, but not too much. This is the big Momma foam tape roll from Simon Says Stamp, which I bought like years ago. And the lovely thing about this foam is that it's not really thick, so you can almost compare it with the thin foam squares from Scrapbook adhesives when it comes to height, and I really love it for that. It's not that easy to get the backings off, but therefore you can always use your craft knife or anything like that. I use a craft knife for that. As you can see, it's not that easy. And I just started removing to add it as well on my card base on top of my ink blended panel that I just adhered flat on top of it. And then I think the only thing left to do is to add the critter. You can also make a scene of the inside of the house in front if you want to make it more elaborate, make it a scene that you can always do as well. Add multiple critters if you want to. Possibilities, there are so many of them. But this is really a simple card, as I said in the beginning, so I'm keeping it as is. Just to give it a bit more, I'm adding this NUVO crystal drops, simply white, on top of the white areas of the head. You can also add some more snowflakes if you want to and give it some more dimension there as well. If you want to, you can add glossy accents to the candy, but that I didn't do. So yeah, so many ways to make it your own. I think this card is the beginning of a series for tons of people that you can create with it and make it your own. So I hope that this video was interesting, that you enjoyed it, and of course that you like the end result. I hope to have inspired you as well, and I want to wish you all an incredible day. I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspirations. Bye!